this video, I'm going to describe a 4-goal game. This is a game you can see defined by the space there. You have 7 players in pink defending the 2 pink goals, 7 players in green defending the 2 goals that are now covered in green. The space is about 20 yards long, about 35 yards wide. You're going to see players try to create space, create width, find numerical advantages, and eventually switch the point of attack. I don't like to coach too much at the beginning. I set up the space and I have players play. You'll see here there's not a lot of space. There's not a lot of switching the point of attack. They kind of go the way they're facing. They're kind of playing in their little small world. They don't really have their eyes up too much. You can see the crowding. There are a couple players that are just trying to stay out of that crowd, and that's helping create a little bit of space. But in the end, it's trying to force it through tight spaces, as you can see there. So here I'm making points about creating space while we're in possession. You can see me trying to stretch the shape out a little bit. And there's a little bit of creating better passing lines too. A few of the players are now not in the same line as a teammate, and they're making slight adjustments to make it easier to find them. Once you see these couple points being made, you immediately start seeing changes. You can see the shape is a little bit larger now in possession. There's more of an effort to they know the point now, so there's more of an effort to switch the point of attack. There's more of a clear, I'm going into a numbers down situation, so I'm going to turn it and go out the other way. As we start to make a few little changes here, you'll see this space is a little bit bigger now. A lot of times when this is 30 by 40. Now I've added some depth to it. A lot of times when I'm playing these type of games, I want the field to be really, really wide, especially when I'm playing or I'm coaching a team rather that knows why we're playing it. I've sometimes done this with the same kind of width that you have here, but over a 15-yard space. This is about 30 by 40. You'll see now players are finding little pockets of space. They're playing between lines. It's super important that you don't just play 7v7. You should give your team a shape, put them in positions so they know who they are and where they are and why they're playing in certain areas. You can see them clearly creating width right now. It's important to have a server there. It was really helpful that evening. I had an assistant there with me, and she was constantly putting balls back in play. So we know we're going to play about a 3-minute match right here, and I don't want to waste time chasing balls. I don't want to waste a lot of time arguing over whose ball it is. I just want the ball put back in play. Start to change the game now. The nature of the game has changed, and the goals are now no longer small goals, they're gates. And in this version, I want them to dribble through the gates. I never want them to see a field just the way it is. I want them to see where a field fits on an actual field. So I need them to see that we've played the ball out wide and try to dribble through a wide channel, or in this case, on half the field, we're playing the ball central and trying to advance to the center part of the field. These games can be played as 4-goal games or 6-goal games. I'm really trying to enhance the idea of switching the point of attack, so we're playing a 4-goal game. The coaching points being made there, we're taking those moments, we're taking 3 touches and turn them into 2 touches. The times we're taking 2 touches and see if we can play 1. There's also C1, P1, which we just write down as the letter C, the number 1, the letter P, the number 1. And it really just stands for C1, play 1. And it means the first person you see on your team, give it to them. We take 7, 8 touches when we should have taken 2 or 3. And they spend a lot of time thinking about who they want to give it to when the answer is pretty obvious and it's right there in front of them. So we're just limiting that overthinking by telling them to just play the way they face, essentially, and see one play one. You can also play that version where people can pass through it. Now, obviously, in this example, we have full-size goals. We have increased the width a little bit more. We're about 55 yards wide now and about 40 yards long. Fortunately, in this age group, we have 3 goalkeepers. I jumped into the 4th goal. I think it's important sometimes as a coach when you can jump into a goal or play on the field, because you can help dictate and create coaching points and create moments and help them see the things that you're trying to get out of the session or out of that activity. You'll see here, I mean, they're really starting to, right now it's a little bit crowded on one side of the field. That was a good goal. It's a little bit crowded on one side of the field, so I can take this ball and kind of spread it out and switch things a little bit. And that's what we want to see right here. If it's crowded one way, we're going to go the other way. And I want to see if we can have goalkeepers do that. So let our goalkeepers make those decisions. So it's a good save from Reagan, and she switches the ball to the other side of the field here. And they're going to kind of play the way. They don't want to give me the ball anymore because I've lost it a couple times. But you can see a little C1, play the way you face. Now we're trying to switch the point of attack. There's a good ball to relieve the pressure and creating width. You can see how wide the players are getting now. Trying to progress, trying to move forward. But once it's crowded one way, they're going to play the way they face and hopefully switch it here. You can see the players popping out wide there, and we're able to go from one side of the field to the other. So now we'll start looking into other versions of these games that we can play to switch the point of attack. The next one you'll see is a pretty common finishing game, and we're going to change the space a little bit as we're going to go a little bit tighter. This will be 40 yards now, and we are using the football lines that you can see on the field. So it's 40 yards long and 55 yards wide approximately. This is a 3v3 continuous finishing game. So as soon as a ball crosses a goal line in, over, or wide of a goal, then 3 new players from that team that's defending those 2 goals are going to bring a ball and come on. What they're looking for here are those quick 1v1 or 2v1 situations, and they want to exploit them very, very quickly. The more they play this game and they learn how to play, the more they start using goalkeepers. That went through a hole in the net, by the way. That was right in the corner. So, but if they can use goalkeepers, it helps you create numbers up situations, but you can see the pretty quick transition that happens here. As soon as a ball crosses the line, a new group comes on, and I want them to remember it as a finishing game. That's a good save. I want them to remember it as a finishing game. This is not a possession game and a put 27 passes together type of game. They should be going forward quickly and trying to finish. Sometimes I have goalkeepers help out. If I have one group on the field a little bit too long, after they make a save, I'll have them roll the ball out of play. And then we'll finish a session like that, typically by playing. So this is the largest numbers that we have for the night, and we're going to put them in positions and see if they can start to put as many of the coaching points that we had through the night, through the evening, into play.